Do you know what's funny? I've spent years working on my art style, planning what it should look like, what the marks should be like, but I never really thought about me and how I fit into it and how maybe I should actually look a bit more like my art. And it got me thinking. And you know, my art, it's got a lot of energy. It's got this kind of graffiti feel about it. But will I look kind of boring and normal? Hi, I'm Tara, I'm an artist and I'm on a mission to sell my paintings for 10k and beyond. Yes, it's a big mission, but I'm going to share all the creative experiments that I tried to get me there. Now, I'm a bit of a nerd, so I built a workshop in ChatGPT to take me through the branding process. I'm not going to show you all that, but I will show you one of the key things that it told me to do. One of the first tasks it set me was to make 3 mood boards: artist identity, material and mood, and cultural references. So the first board was artist identity, how I show up visually. And to be honest, I've never really thought much about what I wear as an artist. But it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You know, pop stars dress to match their sound. So I guess artists should dress to match their art.
So I absolutely love some of these jackets. Absolutely love that. And then ones like this. So this is perhaps more colourful than I want because my art's quite colourful. Some great shoes. But I also collected together, like the ChatGPT said, I collected together some poses because I've never really thought about how I'm standing or sitting in front of my art. And I look quite awkward sometimes. So I could perhaps sit on a stool like this. Maybe sit in front of my art. Maybe with a brush or something in my hand. Some of these I can't imagine myself doing the drapey one, to be perfectly honest, but I kind of like the idea of the wire, and I was thinking that might actually be quite a nice backdrop. And I absolutely love these boots. I would have bought some of these boots, but they haven't got my size, unfortunately. So I decided, second best thing, I would paint myself some high top boots.
So here you can see me painting the shoes, and I'm actually using a white fabric pen that I got from Amazon. And I'm doodling in the shapes and symbols like I've got on some of my paintings, and some of the same words as well, just to try and make a cohesive look between them. But what I did find at the end, I thought it didn't quite punch out enough as I wanted it to, the white. So I used some Daler fluid acrylic in these special applicator bottles. I'll show you that later on when I show you doing my jacket. Oh yeah, and I added some red laces too. So after doing the boots, I got a little bit braver and I decided to attempt to paint a black jacket. But this time I wanted it to punch out a lot more, so I started by using what I mentioned before, which is the Daler Rowney liquid acrylic. It's in this kind of applicator, it's almost like a pen, but what I like about it is, and this is going to sound strange, it doesn't just go on perfectly. So you'll end up with some kind of blobby bits and some smooth bits. But I like that because I don't want this thing to look perfect because my art doesn't look perfect. It's got, you know, a bit of grunge and grit to it.
Second mood board was material and mood. Now this one was about deciding the background and the look for my photos and images. I went looking for things like concrete textures, wires, rough walls, anything a bit gritty and grungy and unpolished. So you can see here, I really love kind of all this kind of scribbly look going on. And then I like the stuff here with the kind of grungy, gritty kind of graffiti letters. And all this kind of grey but very kind of weathered look. I really like wires as well. But it's actually when I started looking at these and seeing these kind of wall pictures that I decided that I was going to create myself a graffiti wall.
So the last mood board was cultural reference. And this one was full of punk zines, photocopied flyers, old typography. It was all a bit chaotic and rebellious. And this is going to give me ideas of how my website and my social graphics could evolve. I'm not rebranding everything all at once. I'm waiting until everything feels right and then my website will be the last thing I tackle. So I really didn't know where this was going to go when I started out, but I'm really pleased with how it's looking. I think I'm actually starting to look like I'm part of my art world. Well, I hope so, anyway.